Welcome to the Pi Network Podcast Show. It's your host, the Crypto Legend, and I'm here today with
MJKK61. I'm a mod in Pioneer English, and you can also find me on other social media, MJKK613.14.
It's glad to have you back again as we talk more about Pi Network and its development.
Legend, I'm glad to be back again. I love sitting and talking with you and talking about Pi. We both have the same passion for Pi. There are times we may disagree on issues, but we're not that far off. It's just our different understanding. And I love sitting down and talking with you.
So, looking at Pi, we're approaching its second year anniversary. It's coming up on March 14, 2021. It'll be about 2 years that Pi Network's been in development, and we're going to be pushing forward to Phase 3. What are your thoughts on this big event that's coming up soon for pioneers all around the world?
I will put out, this is my opinion and what I think should happen or may happen on Pi Day this year. 3/14/22. I believe wallets will come out to the community. The wallets are testing right now. The nodes are testing the wallets, getting them ready, getting all that. And it would be a huge announcement for Pi Day. And I know everybody thinks Pi is just going to launch on some day. That's not Pi's history. We are Pi. Core launched Pi as a private project on 3/14/19. Then went Phase 2, 3/14/20. Well, I think their internal goal, and they will never say it because they've never put out any dates on anything. I believe Core had a goal of being Phase 3, 3/14/21. But since that isn't going to happen, I think the wallets will be coming out. Now, I don't know what else is planned, but this is year 3. We should be starting to get organized. I mean, we're only weeks away, or about a month away from Pi Day. And this will be the third Pi Day. And
it'll be the second, because we have the 20th, right? 2020, that was the first. And then 2021 will be the second.
But they launched in 19.
Yes, but in terms of development, yes.
Yes, I mean...
And, with Pi Network's anniversary coming up, there have been a lot of different events that have taken place in order to prepare for it. So back a few months ago, they released a bunch of different apps and dApps that were created so that we can put it on the Pi Apps platform that pioneers from all over the world could review to determine which type of ecosystem apps we want and which type of business apps that we want to be developed for that world, where you can use Pi inside your Pi Network app in the Pi Apps platform so that you can have utility from the Pi that you've been mining all this time. And so the core team is reviewing all those applications that have been submitted, and they're going to pick out the best ones that serve the purpose of creating utility for many pioneers, where it is the Pi that you have is very useful for millions of people out there. And this way, Pi can go ahead and keep moving forward in terms of the success that it has stated inside the white paper. And if you've been following Pi all this time, then you will realize that it has been growing, and growing at a rate that many did not anticipate in terms of how quickly it's been achieving its milestones.
Yeah. I mean, since I've been here, and that was about 75,000 pioneers, Pi has outpaced the growth has just outpaced everything going on in Pi. And what I don't think a lot of the pioneers realize is we're part of Pi development. We are part of Pi development. We are here early to help Pi develop. And, because it's outpacing what Core can keep up with. I mean, Core is only the 2 of them now, and what they have working on inside with them. The Core is only about 8 or 10 people. And for the scale and the magnitude of what they've written and trying to accomplish, Pi core team is small compared to everything else. I mean, most people have hundreds of or thousands. They have a lot of people working on their protocol, working on their blockchain, and a lot of them are built up of another.
Well, that has a lot to do with Pi not being open sourced right now, but it is something that has been developed by Nicholas and the team in terms of the blockchain technology, trying to connect the whole network together through the Pi nodes. Right now, at this time, there are about 4,000 Pi nodes that are operating worldwide, that are running the blockchain and testing it, and all the transactions that are occurring. We have about 100,000 Pi nodes that pioneers have connected, but they're just not connected to the blockchain, but they're online. And about 30,000 of those are very actively managed, possibly with a 90% uptime, which would create a lot of stability and security in the network for Pi in the future. And, where does that put Pi in terms of its competitors? Well, if you look at Horizon, they are the number one crypto with the most nodes at around 30,000. And the next one falls around 10,000. So with Pi already at 4,000, it's moving up to take first place here. And it won't be too long before we can, because the potential is already there. It's just a matter of the Pi core team connecting all the nodes to the blockchain. But there's already plenty of people that have set up their nodes and are just waiting for the access to be granted to them by the Pi core team. And the Pi core team is taking their time on this to scale it so that if there are glitches that occur, they can correct them before it's rolled out to many more pioneers out there that are running Pi nodes. And Pi nodes will probably most likely be the first pioneers that are operating them to have the Pi digital wallets to start using them. And in those Pi digital wallets, the information is encrypted. You'll have your private key, you'll have your public key, and you are not to be letting everyone know about your private key. Otherwise, they will be able to take all your Pi in the future. It's your public key, okay? That public wallet address, that's what you're going to be able to be giving to other people in the future. Okay, so make no mistake on that. Otherwise, you will pay greatly for that mistake. So just keep that in mind, that those are the people that are going to be able to be using Pi in the dApps, because they want to make sure that the dApps are functioning appropriately and that all of these transactions that are occurring are being tracked on the ledger, right? On the blockchain appropriately, and that they're being processed and validated by all the nodes that are interconnected with one another. And so all this information while we're in the testing phase is important so that pioneers understand that as we all are connected together and securing the network, its stability is important as we continue to grow, because millions of more pioneers are going to be needing that whole network to be able to make those purchases for goods and services in the future, because perhaps they're not running a Pi node themselves, because running a Pi node is an optional thing. It's not mandatory for every pioneer out there.
Yes, and I mean, I know a little bit about the nodes just from what I pick up in chat. I don't know all about the nodes because I gotta wait till I get the in-app transfer so I can buy a system that can run a node. Anyway, now I have heard from a lot of pioneers that Core hasn't picked them and it doesn't seem like Core's even interested in what you're doing or whatever. Please don't shut your node down because you feel you're being left
behind.
Left behind. You're not. Core is also testing or keeping track of whose nodes are running consistent, whose nodes are running 24/7.
Yes, so your uptime or availability in the last 90 days of your Pi node is extremely important for who they are going to be selecting for Pi supernodes in the future. Yes. Okay, and what is a very high availability? Probably 95% or higher. Very few pioneers are at that level. A lot of them fall beneath that. But if you have Pi supernodes that are 95% on availability or higher, those are the ones that you need, the ones connected almost all the time. That way they can help validate Pi transactions in the future. And a lot of these people that have set up Pi nodes are one of the first pioneers that are getting offered the KYC as well. Because in the future, you're going to need those that are trusted. And KYC helps provide more trust to such pioneers. And so it only makes sense that they should be offered the KYC first before other pioneers that aren't running a Pi node, because the Pi nodes are important for securing and running the blockchain. And then our mobile devices, for those that do run Pi nodes, should be linked. Okay, your Pi node with your Pi mobile device. So all of that is important, but there's a lot of pioneers that are new, or maybe they're just not aware. The number one question that I see in regards to being trusted more is, how do I get KYC? You know, that's what they're wondering. How do I get know your customer? So the way that you can get that faster is if you set up a Pi node, and if you go ahead and go into the Pi Apps platform, there's a DApp Fever IQ. You do the survey, and then after that you donate. Application will pop up asking if you want to apply for KYC. You submit that, and it will be reviewed by the Pi Core team. So while that was information that was given when it was first released, that is not information that is easily found for an average pioneer. So that's why I'm sharing it with you, so that you can understand what you can do. But also, in the Pi Network app, there are a lot of moderators and other pioneers, especially the Pi Core team, that monitor the chats, even though they don't say anything that much inside the chats. So it is very important, if you want to be offered KYC, to be contributing and helping other pioneers, assisting them in understanding what Pi is, how does it work, when is it going to be able to move on to the next stage of its development, that it can't be used to be able to exchange for fiat currency or other cryptocurrencies, or you can't buy it right now in phase 2. That is prohibited. It's very important to let them know that, because a lot of them don't know that, especially new pioneers coming in, and crypto, that whole world is new to them. They've never heard about it before, and Pi is the first type of experience they've ever had with cryptocurrency.
Yes, and for new people coming in, even old people come from different countries that have trouble. Right now, Core is using Yoti to do the KYC. And when, a while back, Core said they would pay for another 100,000 pioneers to KYC. Well, there's 2 steps to what Core has done to that point. One step is, to KYC, they have a form. It's an in-house Core team form that you would fill out. And you want your information to be correct, otherwise you're going to have problems down the road. You fill this form out, and then what's happening is it's going into the protocol, but it's going into like a random generator. And every one of us, no matter when you get here, has to KYC before you can in-app transfer. Before we can claim our Pi, we have to be KYC.
Yeah, you will never have access to the Pi that you see in your Pi account until you pass KYC, which is Know Your Customer.
Yes.
There is no way you'll get it without passing. So in order for you to pass it, you need to provide identification, verification of who you are, that you are who you say you are, and you're able to provide the information that is required to do that, which would be your passport, your driver's license, or a government ID.
Correct.
Preferably with photo.
Correct. And Yoti still is, but because of Pi, their rating has dropped because we've given them bad reviews because we can't get through their system.
And even if you do pass Yoti, you have to remember there's 2 sides to all of this. And that is, yes, you need to pass their side of the equation in terms of whatever they require for you to be processed through, to be verified. But then there's something else that needs to occur on Pi Network side, where they recognize that, and then they allow you the ability to have IAT in the future. So the Pi Core team has prevented that at this time for millions of pioneers because of what occurred when IAT was given to a few pioneers, because some pioneers were selling Pi for fiat currency such as US dollars, yen, or pesos, or whatever sovereign currency that person utilizes. And they knew they weren't supposed to do that because the terms of use were stated to them prior to them accepting the role, but they did it anyway, right? Because they didn't want to listen. And now, of course, that right has been revoked from them, but that's also prevented it rolling out to a massive amount of other pioneers. So a lot of safety features have had to be in place. The Pi core team is not trying to inhibit the rollout of using Pi. They want to make sure it's safe for everybody and that everything that is needed to make it successful is created and developed properly prior to all that happening. So in order for all of that to really take place where it's secured, we need to have the network in place, which will require all the Pi nodes. So that's a big thing, right? Right now, that's their focus, is to make sure that all the Pi nodes are up and running, that they're stable, secure, connected, and then later on that they'll be connected onto the blockchain so that all the transactions that are occurring worldwide are processed and then that they'll show up on the blockchain. So that's kind of where we're at with that. Now, here's the other issue that people may not be aware of, especially if you live in a country like the United States. For other countries that are having issues to establish their Pi nodes, they're creating VPNs. And with that VPN, it's making their IP address change consistently, where it's repeatedly changing, which is going to make their availability start basically from zero every time their node is trying to connect. So that's going to cause a lot of issues of the system recognizing that Pi node as secure and stable because its IP address has to keep changing in order to connect. And the Pi core team is working on solutions for that, but this is a huge endeavor because we're talking about a worldwide application, and it's going to take some time to develop permanent solutions for something like that. So, don't feel discouraged. The Pi core team is working on solutions, and it's something that is a priority to them at this time because it's very important for us to have the network secured on the tech side.
Yes, and I need to step back just a minute. On KYC, we are being randomly selected to KYC through Yoti, and it may take a day or two. You get the availability to KYC, it'll send you to Yoti app automatic. You fill out your information with Yoti. If you're using a passport, you should get through in seconds. Okay? That is their number one KYC identification. A selfie and a passport, and you're through Yoti. Now, when you start using government or driver's license and government issue ID, you could run into a problem. Yoti doesn't recognize some countries. But, I'm in here in the United States and it took me 3 days to get through Yoti using my ID. What you need to realize is we don't need KYC until the start of phase 3. Core has already put out no human legit Pi account will be lost or left behind. And through the brainstorm and through the dApps, they're looking to come up with an in-house KYC adaptable for Pi community. So don't sweat KYC.
So if Pi core team is saying that no pioneer will be left behind, don't worry about it. Mm-hmm. It means that phase 3 won't occur unless they've offered the ability for every pioneer to KYC.
Yes.
So until that has been developed so that is possible, because Yoti doesn't support all the different types of countries that Pi network is available for, then phase 3 will be delayed until that occurs. So that is also a big priority of the Pi core team because they understand that every pioneer should have the ability to KYC to access their Pi prior to phase 3.
Yes. And also keep in mind, Core is not trying to penalize anybody that stayed inside the way they wrote Pi. One person, one account, one mobile device is our base for the first 3 days. Then if you can choose to run a node. It's not required, but you can choose to. Okay, that's and either phone or Facebook verified. And I know what the white paper says. You have to be phone verified to be able to claim. No, if the original, or when I got in, that's how it was. But with people from around the world, not their phone providers charges them to send and receive SMS from Canada, United States, and the UK. That isn't on Core. That's on y'all. That's on y'all's phone providers. Okay. Now you either have to put, I think somebody was saying, a nickel or so on your books, on your account, so you can do that, or you have to buy an international SMS package. And we've gone round and round. The mods have gone round and round with Core Team about changing the wording in the white paper, because that is the official documentation. And I understand the people coming in and saying, well, I'm going to lose my package, I didn't do my phone. The paperwork has never been changed when Facebook was added to help these countries be able to verify their account. That's why Facebook was added. One or the other. You only need phone or Facebook. One account, one person, one device, one mobile device, and then through KYC. That is a claimable Pi account at the start of phase 3, and that's what Core will honor.
If you change your phone for whatever reason, because it's time to update, or you broke your other phone, which is probably common for a lot of other people, you got to make sure that you maintain the same phone number, because if you use a different phone number, you will never be able to get your Pi back in your Pi network. You can download the app, but it's not going to register your Pi account back. So it's very important, if you created a Pi account with a phone number, to maintain the same phone number even though you may upgrade your phone or change your phone in the future. Now, if you created a Facebook Pi account, then it's very important that you remember your password. Because even though you change phones, you're still going to need to remember that password that you used to create your Facebook Pi account. And so some pioneers think that they'll just be easily able to recover all that, even though they may have changed their phone and their phone number is different now, that there should be some way for them to get their Pi back from that Pi account. And they'll realize quickly that that is not the case. It's just like in crypto. It's the way that it works. Whenever you send your Pi in the future to somebody and it's not correct in terms of the place where it's supposed to go, maybe you spelled the Pi username wrong by a letter, that's it. It's gone. It's out there and it's never coming back, and it didn't go to the right person. And so you got to make sure you check and double check to make sure everything is correct when you send Pi transactions out. Okay? It's very important. Also, knowing your private key and storing that information in the future somewhere, not just, right on your desk, inside your office, somewhere really safe in case you forget it, move, or whatever, because it's not something you can easily memorize. It is encrypted. It's a lot of digits and characters that will be mixed, and special characters possibly. It's not something you can memorize. So it's very important you store that somewhere very safe, because if you lose it, you will never be able to access your Pi account in the future.
There were a lot of Bitcoin accounts that have Bitcoin floating in it that nobody can get to because they lost the keys. Okay. I need to back up just a little bit. If you change your phone number, you can recover your account. When you originally sign up with Pi, write down all the information that you used to sign up. That means your verification, if you use your phone, verification number, your password, your username, real name. Keep all of that information. Now, if you change your phone number, you can get back into your original account by logging in with your original information. And when it asks for phone number, you need to put your original phone number in, and you need to put your original verification code in, and you should be able to recover your account.
So how many people do you think store that information when they first download Pi Network?
Yeah.
Exactly,
everybody,
right?
They've all written it down.
By the time people hear this, it's already been days and months, and all that information is somewhere they'll never have access to again.
I have a buddy that I got to sign up under me. His brother signed up under him, and something happened to his phone, and he didn't save his verification code, and that's what they asked for. They asked for the original information and his verification code. Yeah, and he said screw it. He didn't even start over. So, anybody new coming in, There's a mod FAQ at the top of the chat. That feature isn't for mods. I mean, it says mod FAQ. That feature is for all pioneers, all new pioneers, all pioneers that have been here. When Core added the feature, they added it, to help take some of the pressure off the mods. But mods have taken the time and gone into detail explaining
commonly asked questions.
Even non-commonly asked, yes, but the commonly asked questions was easy for us to explain in mod FAQ because Pioneer English is maxed out. I mean, we're running as fast as what.
Oh, I don't think you need to tell them that. They can see that chat moving.
But what don't seem to realize, okay, you guys can alleviate some of that pressure off the chat. That's what the mod FAQ was set up for.
You know, going back to that, it's really important that all of us as pioneers help educate the new pioneers and to help them become more aware about everything that is taking place and that has been achieved with Pi this early in its development, because you may have joined Pi Network back in 2019 and someone else may have joined Pi Network just this week, and there's a lot more information they have to understand versus what you had to understand when you first joined, because there wasn't much available at that time because Pi hasn't developed to the stage that it is now. So it is our responsibility and duty as pioneers for the success of the project to help make sure that many other pioneers understand what Pi is, what it can do, what it has done, and how many people it can help out there, and why it's so important for them to continue mining actively every single day, but also participating in the community and engaging and building relationships with one another, because a lot of possibilities can open up for everybody if even a few people are willing to do this. But if a majority of pioneers do this, Pi will be very successful in the crypto space.
Yes. And and right now I have a couple of thoughts going on. In Pi app chat, basically it's a welcome center. I mean, that's what the chats are. I mean, I hear a lot of, should do this, okay. All of this is for new pioneers to come in, get the information, to get them started, and then where we're at today is help with what we got going on. Now see, I've gotten into big discussions about Pi mining. Okay? Pi isn't mining. Pi doesn't have blockchain, but okay, Pi is developing, and if there will be or is two different Pis. There's a developing Pi, and then there's a developed Pi. Right now, we're in the developing Pi. Pi is not free money, and it's not quick money. Well, if it's not free money and it's not quick money, that means I have to work for it. I have to do something to get it. Well, early on, when there wasn't a lot, the first 3 days is all Core expected. You come into Pi, you invite people, you build a security circle, and we are at that point what Pi classifies as Pi miners. We are working for the Pi we are earning. And now that we've come this far, the farther we come in development, our job is community. We are the community. Core is really building Pi for us. So, at this point, where we should be is building Pi economy. And we need a lot going on. We got 12 million people.
Yes. So the Pi Core team is developing the cryptocurrency, and they've taken the responsibility and the initiative to put Pi into the hands of millions of pioneers. Now it is our responsibility and duty as pioneers to fulfill the vision by using Pi as a currency for goods and services so that it can obtain what is of value. And the only way it can do that is if we as pioneers offer what is valuable in exchange for Pi from another pioneer. This is why in the vision and in the mission, it's stated that it is a peer-to-peer marketplace. not a business to consumer marketplace, which is what many pioneers initially think. Pi should be accepted by Amazon or eBay or Costco or Walmart
or Subway.
And that's what's going to make it successful. There's more power to Pi if it is accepted between all of us.
Yes.
Because there are 12 million of us, and there will be more than 12 million by the time we hit phase 3, and it will continue to keep growing. But all these other cryptocurrencies out there, very few of them, if not any of them, are being directly accepted for goods and services. What a lot of these businesses are doing, like PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, it is appearing to the consumer that crypto is accepted as a form of payment. But what is occurring is the person that is using that crypto, they pay with the crypto, and then that business is linked to an exchange where it's automatically mitigating the risk by converting that cryptocurrency into fiat currency immediately. And then that business is accepting the fiat currency to offer the goods or service to that person that used the crypto. And that way it lowers their risk. They're not going to accept crypto, and the reason why is because their vendors and the people that are financing their operation or investing in their businesses are not going to accept crypto. They're going to accept fiat currency, okay? So they have to pay them back in fiat currency, but it's an illusion, right? It's making you believe that crypto is the source of payment. But Pi is very different, because when it is a peer-to-peer marketplace without an exchange, it is Pi that is being directly accepted. And that is not an illusion, because there is no other place you can take Pi to convert it into fiat currency on an exchange, because Pi is not listed on any crypto exchange. And I can't tell you how many YouTubers are out there that think they know what they're saying and use that information, where they pulled that information off of some like CoinGecko or other type of platform where it's listing Pi already, when the white paper specifically states that it's not on any crypto exchanges in phase 2, and it won't be until after phase 3. So if they took a little bit of time to really do the research and be the analysts that they say they are, they would quickly realize that they're wrong about what they are saying. And that is why this show was created, to help inform pioneers of the truth, because there's a lot of misconceptions out there about what Pi really is and what it's really doing. And that's why we're here.
Preach it, brother.
We're here because many of you are confused, because the sources you are going to are also confused.
Our unofficial Pi. If you want to find anything official about Pi, follow the app. I know for Shapers, you don't have to tell me. I work with it. I'm there every day. Follow the official Pi sites at the bottom of the drop-down menu. Anything you want official, get it off of an official information, off of an official site.
Read the frequently asked questions inside the Pi Network app. Then read the white paper. Make sure you have some coffee when you do, because that thing is long, okay? And any pioneer that hasn't read the white paper more than once doesn't understand that that thing gets revised, okay? The message is still the same. It's the way that it's being presented, where it's explained with clarity, so that people can understand, the layman can understand exactly what is to occur with Pi as it continues developing until it reaches phase 3.
Yes.
And so our responsibility is to use that Pi. And when we use it between each other, that's where the power of Pi comes from. That's where the value of Pi will come from one another. It's not going to come out of thin air. And I know there's a lot of people that see what Pi is purchasing for other pioneers out there, and they believe that all of that is possible for anybody out there, where they can get that PlayStation 5 or they can get that iPhone 12 Pro Max, that's $1,500 after tax before even being shipped to them.
For 15 Pi. Damn.
For 15 Pi. Exactly, right? And that is not the case. Okay, I'm here to tell you that is not the case. Because what you are seeing is possibility. Now, the probability of that occurring for every pioneer is practically zero. Okay, because those pioneers don't have that level of trust that pioneer had, who was able to purchase it from another pioneer that offered it, right? Because it didn't come from anywhere out of the sky. It came from another pioneer who offered that to another pioneer in exchange for their pie, to help build utility for pie, to help people see what is possible for pie.
Yes.
That pie is being used as the currency for tomorrow, right? Tomorrow is the future, and we are the future of pie. And if you take a real good look at the type of pioneers coming in, there are a lot of miners. And I don't mean pie miners. I mean miners as in children that are downloading this app. And they're in the community, and there's a lot of them. Far more than I even realized after thinking about it more and seeing them. There's a lot of them. But that is a good thing for pie, because they are the future of crypto. They are the future of crypto, and they are getting into the space very early, at a very young age, learning about it, right?
Yes.
And so it's very important to understand that, because that will help show the direction of where we will go tomorrow. All the banks out there right now are trying to use blockchain technology to incorporate it into their system, because they understand that it is far superior than the fiat system. It is more efficient. And so they're investing a lot of their capital to develop the type of system they would require to use it for their business, for their benefit, right? So it's not going away anytime soon. It is a new concept that's been around for over a decade, but more and more people are beginning to understand it as it continues to grow and mature, not just for Pi, but for all other cryptos out there, because it's a very new concept for the common person. I'm sure a lot of pioneers out there never heard of cryptocurrency before they got into Pi, and Pi was the first one that introduced it to them.
Yes, and I want to kind of stress, we have a job to do in Pi, and when we see Pi as us doing a job and being paid in Pi, automatically creates a value to us. Because right now, most of the pioneers, the ones that are moving Pi and making transactions with Pi and buying stuff with Pi, understand the value of Pi. But if you give somebody something for free, they don't value it. They don't. Okay, I hear all the time, Pi is free. Pi is free. We're mining it for free. We're not mining it for free. We're having to work for it. Who says the
You're not mining it for free because you're giving up your time, and your time is valuable. Whether you believe it is or not, someone else does. Someone else is making money off of your time.
Right. And the job we have to do is get Pi economy started, get it moving, and then keep it moving and more and make it stronger. That's the job we have to do. Has to help new people coming in, inviting you. There's a list of stuff that we're doing to earn the Pi that we're getting. And I don't know, I mean, the time I put in and what I put up with in chat and other social media, damn right, I'm working for my Pi. My Pi has value. Just for the fact of working for it.
And you know, the first layer about that in terms of value, a lot of pioneers, when they think of value, it's really just the top layer, right? So I used my Pi, and let's say the item was worth $100, and I paid one Pi for it, right? So I got something that was worth $100 in value, whether it's a good or service, in exchange for one Pi that I had, which I gave to the other pioneer so that I could obtain that type of value. And then it stops there. That's where it stops in their mind. But if you have to look at the bigger picture, right? So that one Pi moves to that pioneer. That one pioneer that now has that one Pi, they use that one Pi, and maybe they only use $50 of it for one other type of good or service from a different pioneer, and then they use $25 to another pioneer, and then $25 to another pioneer. So they pay one pioneer 0.25, another one 0.25, another one 0.5. Okay, so now all those three pioneers are going to offer some type of good or service to that person that had that one Pi, right, that he received from offering the good that was worth $100. And now he's getting three different goods or services, or a combination of them, in exchange for that one Pi. And then those Pi that each of those three had are going to be used so that they can purchase a good or service from a different pioneer. So as that pie and the vision of it keeps moving and keeps transferring value, or what is of value, to other pioneers, that is where the real power of pie comes from, as it keeps moving until it stops, right? So how many times will that same pie and the vision of it keep moving to keep transferring value over time? That is the power of pie.
I don't mean to laugh, but if you look at any world economy, U.S. dollar, okay? I go buy gas and I pay cash, and then the gas station goes and buys goods that he puts in his store from somebody else, and wherever he's getting, the vendor he's getting his stuff from takes what he got and goes to resupply his stuff or whatever, and it's
the circulation of the currency
is what makes the currency, and
that is what makes it valuable. Is as it circulates and gives value to people, it becomes more powerful.
Yes, and it supports the value that's there. Now, if you look at the world economy, it's built on debt, so the system doesn't work, and us little guys, the everyday, we're paying for the top 1% of what they're doing, but that's a different story for a different show. The value will be set, and yes, barter system and all, by people selling goods for X amount of pie, 100 a pie. Pie Lifestyles, cut to the chase. They're selling goods for $100 a pie. Now, if they're going to accept the $100 a pie, and I'm willing to pay the $100 a pie, that's pie value. Now, does it need a lot of transactions to back it up and make it that way? Yes. And see, if they're taking the biggest risk. And yes, pie will need to go onto the exchange, because somewhere to replenish those goods, somebody's probably going to want fake for right now. Because, well, I get to that. So, if they're willing to accept it, I'm willing to pay it, and now all of us are starting to do it. One by one, those transactions add up. And because the in-app transfer is so small, and it's a limited number of people, for the Pie Lifestyles to be close to 1,500 transactions at $100 a pie in 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, somewhere in that neighborhood, kudos to those guys. That's our job. That's what, okay, I'm not saying we're not, but the people that have set up lifestyles, that are working in lifestyles, making the transactions, doing their thing, they're earning the pie they're getting. Yes, it's on account. When we get to phase 3, it will become ours. How many jobs have you ever had somebody do for you that you paid them up front? You took your car into the auto shop, and the guy's going to say, hey, it's a $2,000 bill. And you're going to pay him $2,000 while he's still got your car and it ain't fixed yet? Come on, guys. I mean, you have somebody come in to paint your house or remodel your house, and he's going to tell you, it's $10,000. You go, okay. And you're going to give him $10,000, and he hasn't started the job yet. Yeah, I don't know if you're doing that, send me your money. Okay? Because, I've worked both sides of the fence. I've paid people to do jobs, and I didn't pay them up front. I paid them when the job was done. And I've done jobs for people that wouldn't pay me up front until the job was completed. Okay? That's
reality.
That's the way it is. So, pie is in development. We have a job to do. When we get to phase 3, our job is done and we get paid for it. Okay? I don't know any other way to put it. That's our job as pioneer in the community. And
it's more important than just creating utility. Yeah, you could create utility for pie, and then after that, people will use their pie in order to buy goods and services. But if you make pie too low on its value, then you're going to cause a lot of pioneers to not have the ability to be in a sustainable economy or ecosystem, because a few transactions will wipe out their entire pie balance. But it gets even bigger in terms of the problem, because in the future, after multiple halvings, right, and after new pioneers come in, the amount of pie that they're going to earn will leave them nothing to really purchase anything, right? Because other people are charging way too much pie in order to be able to have their goods and services. And so this $100 per pie economic value wasn't arbitrary. It was a value that was decided upon with every pioneer in that economy at the time to be able to choose a value where goods and services can be exchanged for pie for every pioneer today and every pioneer to come, which is a type of vision that many other people are not thinking about because they're not part of the people that are coming in many months or years from now, right? They're here today, but they're only thinking about today. But in order to create something that is sustainable, it has to be able to allow millions of pioneers, every pioneer, the ability to see value in the pie that they have and the pie that they're earning, no matter how much pie they're earning.
Yes. The majority of pioneers in pie at any given time the majority of pioneers will have the least amount of coin, personally. But they will control the majority of the amount of coin in pie economy. You draw it out on the pie is not a pyramid scheme. Draw it out on the pyramid and how it breaks down and see where the coins are actually at. And it was brought up to me today because we were talking about pie economy. I was talking with somebody else, and he goes, when we get out so far, mining's gonna be this or mining earning, I don't know, whatever you want to use. We're gonna earn like 2.5 pie a day. Well, where pie lifestyles has a value now at $100, that means we've earned $250 a day. Well, he's saying that's too much. Me and Crypto Legend are sitting next to each other. I can spend more than $250 today. We blow more money than that on a daily basis. I mean, think about what your car payment is, your insurance payment, taking somebody out to eat,
gas in your vehicle.
Yeah, my truck, it cost me about $125 to fill my truck up. That's not too far away from $225. And I buy a carton of cigarettes, okay? I haven't even eaten yet. Got my food for the month, for the week, okay? I'm eating noodles because, yes, I know gas and smoking are luxuries for me, but they're my choice, okay? If I'm willing to pay for it, I have to sacrifice something else because I can't afford them both. And I got to have my smokes. So, people have pie compared to programs, projects that are minimum 4 years after launch to the public. Had time to do their thing, grow, expand. People can see it and whatever. Okay? Pi hasn't even launched to the public yet. Hasn't.
By the time Pi Network launches in Phase 3, it's expected to have anywhere from 20 to 25 million pioneers supporting it the day it hits out the gate. What other crypto project has that many supporters for a single crypto? The answer? None. Okay? None. Other than Pi. And there's a reason for that, right? It's because of the referral system. It's because of the community. It's because of the awareness and the education that we're providing to many different people in understanding what crypto is. The reasons why it's able to grow as fast as it has is because the time that Pi Network was released was a good time in the world's history. Yes. There's a lot of different types of applications that are able to allow information to spread across the world very quickly, which weren't around 10 years ago, but they're around here today. And that is a major factor in why Pi Network is moving across the world so quickly and why more and more people are learning about it every single day. And Phase 3, even when Pi gets listed onto crypto exchanges eventually after, there's going to be a lot of people that have never heard about Pi until that moment when they see it listed on a crypto exchange. And they're going to want to have a piece of it if they see that 25 million people already have this thing, right?
And using it.
And using it, more importantly, for goods and services, right? As long as it's useful, the demand for it will be very high. Okay? Because that's where many people, their vision of crypto gets clouded because in the crypto market they look at the market and the coin cap, right? And they're seeing, okay, so this is how much there is in supply, so therefore it can only be worth this much. And yes, with cryptos, that's the way it's been working for a very long time because none of them are useful really. Maybe other than Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, the real major players, but they're just nothing compared to how many cryptocurrencies there are out there. And majority of people that hold those don't even use it every single day for goods and services. So going back to there being a lot of Pi supply in total around the world.
Well,
there's a lot of fiat currency around the world, okay? And its supply just keeps being minted and it keeps being created. A lot of the fiat currency that exists today, 25% of it was created just last year in 2020 due to the pandemic around the world. They just created it. So why is there still a lot of demand for it even though there's so much supply of it? It's because it's useful.
Yes.
That's why. As long as it's useful, there will be a great demand for it. And that is what we need. That is what we need for Pi.
Yes. And to take it a little bit further, maybe a little better understanding. All right. The U.S. prints trillions of dollars a year. Okay. The mints around the country salt in billions every time it moves. Okay. Well, there's a few reasons for that, I think. One is inflation, deflation, debt, whatever it is. Okay. But nobody stopped and talked about how many children are born each day in the United States. Just in the United States. I'm not talking around the world. I'm talking in the United States. Well, if the people that are here in the United States right now are using what money is in circulation, and you've just added how many thousands or hundreds of thousands of newborn children that are coming, they're also coming into the economy. Because you're gonna have to buy diapers, you gotta buy food, so it's an added strain to the economy. The economy has to be able to add a little bit of currency to its economy to keep its growth healthy and strong. So there's a reason why they're adding it at the back end. Now, the United States, I also think the growth and what's going on is because everybody around the world knows that the monetary system used today, set up by the United States, which is screwing everybody else, that is set up today, being used today around the world, everybody knows it's broke. Everybody is tired of giving central bank and big government our hard-earned money. Well, now I'm getting, okay. The people that are holding Pi to today's models, doing what crypto has done in the past. Well, the crypto that is working right now, that is trading on the exchange, and you guys are you're playing with it like you're playing on the stock market. Okay, Pi. I see Pi as the U.S. economy. Think what it takes for the U.S. economy to be moving, not trading with other countries, just inside the country. Okay, now scale that down to a small country of 12 million people. Pi is not on the bottom of the country list.
I looked that up. 12 million people for our country. That would put Pi in terms of population around 78 in the world. So that's pretty good in terms of how much growth we've had.
Pi is 78 on the country list. And I'm not saying Pi is a country yet.
Just population-wise, in terms of how many people are in it.
So, I mean, what I see, or how I see, is perspective. It's about perspective. It's about what you see, and it's about how you see it. Okay? I mean, I think right now, because of what crypto is and how crypto has evolved and what it does. Okay? If you look at Bitcoin when it first came out, yes, it listed on the exchange and it listed for nothing. Okay? But it found its niche. 3 guys that knew the dark web saw a utility and a use for Bitcoin, and they set up Silk Road. And Bitcoin became the economy on Silk Road. Bitcoin has become the economy for people and industries that have trouble or issue with the U.S. economy or whatever economy they're in. Now, you can look down on the porn industry. The porn industry is using and I'm not saying it's Bitcoin, but they're using crypto to get paid for what they do. And I know it's taboo, it's bad, it's okay, they shouldn't. Well, they're providing a good and a service and something. Yeah, anyway, I don't want to go there because that gives me trouble.
We have about 4 minutes, so you need to be wrapping it up.
Okay, but you think about it, because they have trouble with the government and taxes and whatever it is. I mean, if you went to work, now take the profession of what they're doing out of it. If you went to your job every day, on Friday when you got your paycheck, they said no, you can't have it because of what you do, and they take it. Yeah, they don't have a choice. They took it. Well, they're making whatever coin you're using. That's their economy. That's how they get paid. And that's what they use to survive. Okay, I know it may be a stretch out, but trying to get people to understand Pi is our money to trade for everyday goods and services. And what's good about Pi is being active in the network. We get paid every day. Once it's live, we get paid every day. So what we spend, we can recover.
And that's not always going to be available possibly in the future. So you need to start making some type of decisions to decide how are you going to earn Pi after that happens, or if that happens in the future, and start developing ways to offer value to other people in exchange for their Pi. If this is something that you want to support, and not everyone will, but if this is something that you want to support and interests you and you like what's happening, then it is something you should think about in the future. As Pi becomes more developed and more people acquire this, and more people want to use it, more people do use it, more people get value from it, it's only going to keep growing.
Yes.
And who knows where it'll be.
Yes.
No one has any idea. But what we do know is that it's growing, and it hasn't stopped growing yet. So if you are new to Pi Network, we release podcast episodes every now and then about what's going on with Pi's development. There's a lot of episodes that were created to help provide information. You can just go check them out. There's some of them that are on YouTube as well. And if there's anything else that you would like us to cover, just let us know. But for the most part, we're just trying to produce some information out there for the public to let them know about Pi and what it is and how it can help them, what it can do for them, and many others that they're connected with, that they're sharing this with. So I am the Crypto Legend, and I'm here with MJK61, and we'll see you guys again on the next episode.
Take care, guys.
Have a wonderful day. Stay mining and stay smiling.
Enjoyed it again, Crypto Legend.
Have a good one. Bye.
Later.